As many of you know by now, on Thursday, July 27th, 2023, 29-year-old Kegan Kline was sentenced to 40 years in prison for his child pornography case, which by Indiana state officials' own words say led to the largest CSAM investigation in state history. In this video, I'm going to tell you what's next for Kegan Kline. I'm going to tell you why I declined to interview the 29-year-old convicted pedophile. And I'm also going to tell you my thoughts on the current situation involving Kegan Kline and the double homicide investigation in Delphi, Indiana. I'll start by telling you the events that led to my possible interview with Kegan Kline, and then I'll go on to tell you why I ultimately decided not to talk to him. On Saturday, July 29th, 2023, from a third party, I received a message that Kegan Kline was interested in being interviewed via video by Sunny, my partner on It's a Crime and Shame. Like any good partner, I immediately messaged her and told her of this news, to which, in more colorful language, she replied, "Absolutely not." I immediately understood her decision and respected it 100%. But I couldn't help myself from having a few lingering questions that I wanted answered. I mean, I devoted so much energy and time to the Klines, specifically regarding the sleepover situations, that I thought maybe I want to talk to him. At this point, I want to be very clear. Up until Sunday, July 30th, 2023, I had never messaged Kegan Kline. I had never messaged him directly. I had never messaged him and impersonated a female, nor had I ever directed anyone else to impersonate a female and message him. The closest interaction I'd had with Kegan Kline up until this point was on 3 separate occasions. Someone that I know that was messaging with him asked for advice on a way to get him to respond to something that could further this investigation. The advice I gave on these 3 occasions in no way at any time was tawdry or improper. So, early on Sunday, July 30th, 2023, I broke my Kegan Kline chirp cherry and messaged him introducing myself and saying that I may be interested in interviewing him and hearing his story. So, for the next few hours, I really thought about it. I really thought about what interviewing Kegan Kline meant and what I wanted to ask and what it was worth. And this is the conclusion I came to. For these 4 reasons, I decided not to interview Kegan Kline. 1. Very quickly, I learned from a third party that Kegan's main interest in talking to anyone was not to answer questions so much as to do a tell-all involving a female that he became accustomed to speaking with while incarcerated and I guess started a relationship with. This female isn't the biggest fan of mine, but I have no interest in providing a platform for someone to speak ill of someone that I do not know and to attack someone, especially a female, when I have nothing to gain from that. I want no part of it. It's not why I got into true crime, and I have nothing against this person. I wish them well, and I'm not about to give Kegan Kline the opportunity to trash them on my dime. 2. If there's one thing that I can be certain about, is that anything that comes out of Kegan Kline's mouth might be true, might not be true. I'm 100% certain he likes to lie. For that reason, I wasn't interested in providing a platform for this person to spew their lies, possibly even do damage to people in the process. Not my thing. especially when I can't be certain the questions I want answers to would even be truthful. That leads me to number 3. Kegan Kline is now a convicted pedophile. And trust me, I'm not saying that I wouldn't ever interview a convicted criminal. But for me, knowing what Kegan Kline has been convicted for and the gravity and despicable things that he did, I didn't see any avenue in which I wanted to speak with him. I didn't want to give him a platform to victimize more people, to spew his lies, and to cause harm and hurt to the people he's already victimized. Nothing that I had to ask him or questions that I wanted answered from him was worth taking that chance, in my opinion. Number 4, and this may be the most controversial. Even if answered truthfully, what importance and relevance do I feel Kegan Kline holds to the Delphi investigation? As most of you know, I like things that are fact-based. So, until I can verify something with my own eyes, I tend to be skeptical. So, in November 2022, when I was told by a friend that Kegan Kline in no way and in no place showed up in Richard Allen's paperwork, and that the case against Richard Allen did not involve Kegan Kline, I listened. I tucked the information away because I couldn't verify it. I still fully can't, but I do have a little bit more certainty that the person that told me this was telling the truth. That, combined with the fact that all of the other information this person has given me has turned out to be truthful and factual, I don't believe at this point that Kegan Kline was directly involved with the murders of Libby and Abby.
The prosecution also heard from other witnesses, other victims. This case is going down the steps of the Miami County Courthouse right now. He's on his way. Of course, he made his opinion well known just now as he walked outside the court. He is now going back to the Miami County Jail. Kevin.
Whatever. Give me the bracelet. Just give me the bracelet. You can't do shit to me. Nobody can.
Now that he's been convicted, what's next for Kegan Kline? Well, according to Kegan, he can't wait to go to prison where no one can contact him except for mail. On August 2nd, 2023, Kegan Kline was transferred out of Miami County Jail, where he has called home for the last 3 years. From what I have been able to ascertain, Kegan Kline was transferred to a facility in Plainfield, Indiana, where he will spend approximately 45 days, in which time he will be receiving a DOC number, if he hasn't already, and also be assigned a penitentiary where he will serve the remainder of his 40-year sentence. Once his DOC number and penitentiary are assigned, anyone that wants to can look that up online. I know that the majority of people still suspect that Kegan Kline had direct involvement with the girls' murders, and you could be right. I'm not claiming to be right. I'm not claiming to be smarter than anyone. I'm just giving you my opinion, and hey, maybe I'll regret it. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'll regret not interviewing him when I had the chance. All I can say is what I'm feeling in this moment and what felt right to me. I believe that law enforcement suspected Kegan Kline to have direct involvement. I think they tried really hard to prove it. I think they really, really thought he did. And I think they came up with nothing. And I know what you're thinking. What about the Wabash River search? Let me give you my opinion on that. I have an informed opinion that Kegan Kline was not the reason the authorities searched the Wabash River. The reason the authorities searched the Wabash River had to do with Richard Allen. The reason that I believe they took him out of custody, meaning Kegan Kline, was because they wanted to make one last ditch attempt to see if there was a connection. I believe they wanted to take him there, and I believe they wanted to see his reaction. I've been told that he didn't have any involvement in the Wabash River search. I didn't entirely believe that, but more and more I do. I believe that it was kind of a Hail Mary, if you will, for law enforcement to conclusively decide, was Kegan Kline directly involved in this crime? And I think they came up with the answer no. Does that mean he was or wasn't? I don't know. All I know is that I believe at this time Kegan Kline was not directly involved. If facts come to light, I may change my opinion. I'll admit I'm wrong. But at this moment, I feel pretty certain that the Klines, it's time to say goodbye. I believe that Kegan Kline is going to go to prison. I hope that he serves his full term. And I hope that Kegan Kline receives a punishment that's worse than the time he's being sent to prison for. I hope that he is forgotten about. I hope that this person who based so much of their life on these grandiose ideas of themselves and falsities that weren't true in order to commit crimes against children, I hope that he deserves and gets no attention. I hope that he fades away from people's memories, and I hope that he rots. Because looking at the crimes that he's guilty of, I believe that's what he deserves. Does that make me heartless? I don't think so. Does it make me have empathy for Kegan Kline because he thinks everyone hates his guts and he's just gonna have to get used to that? No, it doesn't. My empathy, my sympathy, and my attention is gonna remain where it always has. On Liberty German and Abigail Williams, because their lives were tragically taken at age 13 and 14 on February 13th, 2017 in Delphi, Indiana. And I believe they deserve justice. And I think Kegan Kline needs to go away and be forgotten. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe out there.